When my mum was alive, she had a habit of checking 15 different weather apps until she saw the forecast that she wanted. And I've taken a leaf out of her book this week. I looked at the forecast a couple of days ago and it said it was going to be dry all week. I haven't checked since because I know I'll be disappointed, but this week I am getting the roof on the chicken coop. Build a chicken coop from scratch with no experience? No problem. Get something out of a box? Big problem. I have never done this before, and in an ideal world, I'd be using metal sheeting that is the same length as the roof. But we don't live in an ideal world, we live in the real world, and I'm working with the sheets that I've got, so I'm gonna have to double up. But hopefully, I'll be able to make it work. We'll see. I've watched a video, and I'm gonna do exactly what they did in the video. That does not look right. This is where I need those trousers with the flappy screw pockets at the front. That would make my life so much easier. It's not perfect, but it's not going anywhere in a hurry, and hopefully it's watertight. That's good enough for me. Also, in 4 hours of consistently dry weather, I've managed to get more done than I did in the entirety of last week. So a bit more dry weather and I'll get a bit more progress. I'm pretty excited to talk about Jackery, who are advertising with me this week. Jackery have been the leader in portable clean power solutions since 2012, and they've just released their very first 3 kilowatt hour power station, the Explorer 3000 V2. It's designed for high capacity off-grid power and reliable home backup. Weighing in at 27 kilos, this little power station is 47% smaller and 43% lighter than industry standard, and it's going to be a complete game changer for me working at the cottage. With a maximum output of 3,600 watts, I can use it to run all my corded power tools anywhere on the property, as well as for much needed extra plug sockets in my workshop. No more dangerous daisy chaining of extension leads required. With USB A and C output, I can recharge my phone and all of my filming equipment without stopping to go inside. I'm not totally off-grid here, but I am pretty remote, and the wiring on the property is questionable at best, and I'm very aware of how isolated I'd be in a power cut. With a 3,072 watt-hour capacity, the Explorer 3000 can power home essentials like kettles, Wi-Fi routers, lights, and even fridges, which will be a great emergency backup, especially in winter storms. It's got ultra-fast solar and wall charging, and a long-lasting LFP battery that'll power 10 years worth of adventures. You can use the code JUDE5555 for 5% off at the link below. My goal for today is to see if I've got any wood kicking around in my leftovers pile that I can use for fascia boards for the coop. And then I think I'm going to start measuring and cutting some of the timber for the run. I've still got loads that I want to do to the coop walls to make it look nice, but I'm going to hold off on that as a reward for finishing all of the structural stuff. 203 centimetres. See if we've got anything that's 203 centimetres. There wasn't anything long enough in the giant pile of scrap wood, but as I've said many times throughout this project, it's a chicken coop, I can make it work. All 3 of my nail guns are getting a workout on this project, but not as much of a workout as the one my brain's getting. That's gonna have to do. It took 3 attempts and it's really humid, I'm really hot, there are flies everywhere and I'm starting to lose my mind. I'm gonna hold off on putting the front fascia on until I've done the cladding on the front of the coop, and I'm gonna hold off on cutting the timber for the run because I need to be a bit less hot and irritable or I'm just gonna make stupid mistakes. So I'm gonna have some lunch and cool down and get away from these flies, and then hopefully I'll feel a bit better later. If you thought I had an endless supply of patience and calm, I really don't. I get so frustrated and irritable when things aren't working. I frequently have to walk away from my projects. Last week, I discovered that quite a bit of the timber that I've got left to build the chicken run out of is warped and twisted. So before I can start cutting any of it, I need to work out exactly how much usable timber I've got left. And hopefully, it'll be enough. I'm going to have to make it work. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've done a lot of maths and I've made a rough cut list, and I think I might be okay. I'm probably going to need to buy more timber for the door, and there is no room for error, which is not a position I like to be in. I'm going to have to be really careful measuring and cutting, because all of the timber that I built in for mistakes has been used up with the warping and twisting. So hopefully I can make it work. This is not getting off to a good start. I just went to get a piece of timber from the barn and a bird was trapped in there and it freaked out and flew at me, and I freaked out and ran away. Now I don't want to go back in there. At this point, a flat pack chicken coop and run is looking pretty attractive. I've got 4 pieces cut, 2 of them are half an inch too short because apparently I don't understand how angles work, but they're going to have to do because I don't have enough wood to recut. I think I'm going to have a break before I mess something else up. I might go and sit in my hammock for a bit. I've got the bulk of the frame done for one side of the run. I've still got to go in and put in the supports so it's a little bit less rickety, but I think I'm going to wait until I've got the other side to the same point, just in case I've made a ridiculous mistake somewhere and they are completely mismatching and I've got to take them apart and do them again. But I'm hoping they should be okay. I've got all the pieces cut for the other side, and I could probably get it assembled in another hour, hour and a half, but it's already 5 o'clock. I'm hot and sweaty, and I promised myself a roast dinner this evening, so I need to get cleaned up and get started on that. I am ready for a rest. I grew those broad beans myself. Sadly, the carrots are from Aldi. Okay, let's see how much we can get done before the flies or the heat get the better of me. My goal for the day is to get both sides of the run pretty much done and the wood cut for the rest of it. That feels like it might be quite ambitious, but I'm going to give it a go. This would be a lot easier if my timber was straight. Don't really know how ratchet straps work. I could watch a tutorial, or I could try and figure it out on my own. How hard can it be? Okay, I'm gonna have to give in and watch a tutorial. Jude, you've got so many skills. Is there anything you can't do? Yes. This. The aim is that I will be able to pull that bit of wood into alignment using the ratchet strap. It requires me to be able to work the ratchet strap. We'll see. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Spoiler alert, I was not doing it right. No, I don't think this is how this works. Oh no. Now I've got to undo you and I don't know how it works. I completely messed up the first ratchet strap and had to cut it off. The second one works, but it hasn't made the slightest bit of difference to the problem. So I'm going to take it off and see if I can fix it using some scrap wood and some screws and some pressure instead. That cost me 45 minutes, a drill bit and a ratchet strap, and I could have just knocked it into place with a hammer in 30 seconds. I think it might be time to go inside and cool down. In spite of the heat, the number of flying insects, and my own incompetence, I've managed to get the frames done for both sides of the run. And now I just need to add the supports so that it doesn't blow down in the first strong wind we have. the frames for both sides of the run are almost done. All I've got left to do is cut and fit 16 brace pieces. That's going to require measuring and angles, so I'm not sure how many of those are going to get done today. I should probably practice this on a piece of scrap wood first. It's taken me 45 minutes, but I finally worked out how to measure and cut the angles I need for one side of the braces at 37 degrees, and I just need to work out how to do the other side at 53 degrees. And I'm struggling with that because my circular saw will only let me cut up to 50 degrees, and I know that 37 is paired up with 53, and in theory I should just be able to turn it the other way and do it, but no matter how hard I try, I just keep coming up with the same angle on this piece. So I think I'm going to have a break and go and enjoy the nice weather, because I can come back to this when it's raining. I don't want to waste loads of nice days sitting in the carport. I sort of figured it out eventually. One side of the run is almost done. The end is in sight, possibly. Thanks for watching. See you next weekend.